All right there, everyone. How's it going? Welcome back to Cole's Combat Talk. Um, yeah, let's get into it then. UFC 256 predictions. First fight I'll be predicting will be Rafael Fasiv versus Renato Moicano. So yeah, Fasiv has got very, very good. I'll just get a bit close to the mic. He's got very, very good combination punches. He lands some good hooks. He's got a good gas tank. His stand up's good all around. He's a coach at Tiger Muay Thai, so he's pretty solid. He's got great leg kicks, and he seems to have good durability, as shown in the Mark Casey fight. He did get a tiny, tiny bit gassed in the third, but he had a massive output. So fair play to him. His clinch work is absolutely fantastic as well. The Thai plum lands quite a few, good elbows in the clinch. Yeah, pretty good fight. I haven't really seen his ground game. Seen a little bit of takedown defense from him. But that's where I think the fight will fall into Renato Moicano's hands, because before Renato Moicano did stand with people a lot, and sometimes it worked for him, like in the Calvin Kattar fight. He landed some good leg kicks on Kattar, but in other fights it didn't work out for him, like against Korean Zombie and Jose Aldo. So and his last fight, which was at lightweight, he took the guy down and just submitted him really quickly in 44 seconds. So I feel like he'll be able to do the same to Fasiv. I know we haven't really seen him on the ground, but Renato Moicano will be a fool to stand with him. So I think he'll be able to take him down and get the submission win. Renato Moicano, I'd say second round submission probably. So yeah, I think he's got that one in the bag. Thing is, you can sort of think to yourself, oh, is his chin really that good? But he used to cut a crap ton of weight to get to 45. I know there was like um you know um statistics released of fighters' weights once. Well, they've done it a few times, but they don't do it with every fight. And he was like 164 on fight night, so he clearly was cut a lot to get to 45. So his chin will be more durable at 55. Um, but yeah, he's just going to take him to the ground anyway. That's what I think. So yeah. Next fight is Surreal Garn versus JDS. I'll just look at the card quickly, but I am pretty sure that is the next. That is, yep, there we go. Yep, Surreal Garn versus JDS. So I think that it's a really good one, because Surreal Garn, he's got really, really good kickboxing, but he has decent submission grappling. Like, he was against this pretty solid Brazilian on the ground, and he managed to get him in a leg lock. And I'm just going to check his record quickly, because I have watched a few of his fights, and he's good at landing some decent combos. He's got good kicks, so yeah. Um, let's just look at it quickly. Yeah, heel hook. No, sorry, yeah, he got an arm triangle choke against a really good Brazilian, and then he got a heel hook against another guy who was pretty much beating for the whole fight, and but then he just decided to go for a heel hook at the end. He hasn't fought for ages. He last fought Tanabosa. That was a pretty cool fight. He just seemed to pick Tanabosa apart a lot. Bowser would try and throw these big hooks, but Cyril Garner be just out of the way. JDS though, as we know, he's great at boxing from a distance and punching people from a distance, but obviously he doesn't just punch, does he? Cyril Garn, he does all sorts on the feet, doesn't he? So I do see him being able to win this fight as well, to be honest with you. I feel like he'll get a well, thing is, right, JDS got whooped by Curtis Blades, whooped by Jairzinho Rose. Well, it was fairly competitive, but then Jairzinho landed that big punch on him, and it was just all over. So I would say, yeah, Surreal Gone decision. That's what I think anyway. Um, I can't see him being able to submit JDS, but I can just see him being able to, probably batter him a little bit with the punches and kicks and just get the win. Another win for him, catapult him into the, not quite title contention, but the top of the, the cream of the crop at the end of the day. That's where it will be if he beats him. So yeah, next fight. So it said Kevin there's Kevin Holland versus Jacare Souza on Wikipedia. I swear, didn't Kevin Holland test positive or something for COVID? Or someone did. Honestly, I'm just so ill. I know the MMA fans, you're going to be roasting me in the comments, saying, "Oh, why don't you know this? Why don't you know this?" And getting pissed off. But I'm just not feeling well today. But I just want to get this out of the way and done. I really want to give my predictions and talk about a few other little things here and there. Well, it's on Wikipedia. It's probably it's probably going to happen. And I did see some stuff about it. Just my mind at the moment, I'm just so tired out. My eyes are absolutely stinging. Sorry to bore you with how I'm feeling a bit ill at the moment. But yeah, Kevin Holland versus Souza. I mean, Holland's last fight, the dude he fought had good kicks, but he weighed in at like 182.5. And I know there are other people that weigh in at like 182.5, which is 13 stone. Joaquin Buckley, he weighs in at that, and he's pretty bloody amazing, isn't he? But again, this dude, I mean, he should really be fighting at welterweight, and so should that other dude, because all that really happened was that he slammed him down. I know Kevin Holland isn't a particularly big middleweight. And one of those statistic things that showed the way that people coming on fight night, Kevin Holland was like 195.5, so it's not like he's 185 on fight night. So, he had like nearly 10 pounds over. Well, yeah, nearly 10 pounds over him. So, yeah. And all he really did was like the other dude was doing good on the feet with the hook kick and a few funky things, and then Kevin Holland managed to clinch up with him and take him down. Then I think the other guy got up, and then Kevin Holland slammed him down again, and the ref just stopped it, and because the guy was in a bit of pain. It was quite a scary thing to see, really. But thankfully, he was able to feel things in his hands and his legs, and he didn't. He just looked like a bit of a slam, like just not a slam, hard slam. But sorry, spat on the computer screen slightly, tiny bit. Not like a really, really hard slam. It wasn't like look at Rose Namajunas versus Andrade. That was like terrifying. But this, it was sort of like he just got him down, and maybe he just doesn't know how to break for the other guy. So I don't know really, or maybe he just caught him in a bad place, or maybe he just landed funny. But yeah, Kevin Holland won that fight. He's the last dude to beat Joaquin Buckley, which is, pretty good. Thing is, with him versus Jacare, I mean, Jacare isn't really too bad. I mean, I thought he beat Jan. There was rounds when he was holding Jan against the fence for like 5 minutes, and the judges just gave one of those rounds to like Jan, and it's like, what the hell's going on? Like, if a dude's holding you against the fence for like 5 minutes and you're not doing anything back, surely it's the dude holding the other guy against the fence who's winning. I mean, what the hell's going on with that? Really strange, in my opinion. And I know he didn't really do that well against Jack Hermansson. Jack made him look a bit daft. Did Jacare have another fight that I can't think of in recent times? Let's have a look. All right then. Here we go. Oh no, never mind. Jan was his last fight. Bloody hell, over a year ago, man. Jeez, over a year ago. So yeah, those are his last two fights. I mean, he's quite old now. He is 41. 40. Oh, okay. Well, so yeah, he's 40, fairly old. Kevin Holland would stand up. Thing is, it feels like Jacare. I'm sure he was aiming for the takedown against Jan, but obviously Jan's takedown defense is just really good, and he's a lot bigger than Jacare. So, but a lot of the time he just seems to stay standing unless the other fighter initiates the takedown, and I can't really see Kevin Holland initiating the takedown. He does when he needs to against someone who, he knows he's going to be better than on the ground. But if Jacare does get it to the ground, he'll just choke him and destroy him, I feel. I know, look, at the end of the day, Kevin Holland isn't a slouch. Maybe he can defend, and last out the round. I don't know. It looked a bit competitive against Brendan Allen on the ground. I know Brendan Allen got knocked out by Sean Strickland recently and looked a bit crap against him. But still, Brendan Allen's amazing on the ground. So it was fairly competitive. I know Brendan Allen did eventually choke him out, but if he can outlast Jacare on the ground a bit and just, just try and time waste and just hold Jacare in some positions, then, and he gets to the next round, he can. I don't know. To be honest, it's a very interesting fight. I reckon Kevin Holland. I can't see him being able to TKO Jacare, but split decision. I think that's what I think. Split decision. I'm sorry if that analysis has been a waste of time and the fight isn't actually on, but I'm pretty sure it's on. It says right here. So, next fight, Tony Ferguson versus Charles Oliveira. So I feel like this fight just comes down to the fact that Ferguson got absolutely destroyed by Gage in his last fight. Just all them counter hooks absolutely destroyed Ferguson. The leg kicks were horrific. Gage threw a few jabs here and there. One of the punches to end the fight was like a big jab, big stiff jab, and Tony Ferguson was moving away, shaking his head. Then Gage sort of landed another one. Then the ref was like, "No, I've seen enough." He took an absolute utter beating. I know Tony takes quite a few beatings in quite a few fights, but I think this one's is going to affect him a lot because you don't. That's like one of the worst beatings I've ever seen in combat. You don't usually come out of them looking as good as you did before. And Charles Oliveira, he's on like a 6-fight or 7-fight finishing streak? Let's have a look. I know they've all been finishes since his last loss. I'm pretty sure his last loss was to Felder. Let's have a look. Yep, poor Felder TKO. And I do remember him. I'm pretty sure he had Felder in a submission. I can't remember it that well. I haven't watched that fight for a while. But I'm pretty sure he had Felder in a submission and for ages, and he did go for a single leg and get him down for ages, but it just didn't work. Felder managed to get on top and then, elbow the crap out of him. Yeah, but okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-fight finishing streak. I mean, all finishes absolutely awesome. Submissions, a KO, TKO, epic. From what I've seen in a few of his fights, he can get backed up quite easily. His chin's fairly decent. He doesn't really seem to roll with stuff. He sort of takes stuff on the chin. He's got some funky wild stand-up, so that'll match well with Ferguson. But the thing is with Ferguson, that puts him at a massive disadvantage in this fight for me, is that I know his grappling's really good, but he welcomes the takedown. So Oliveira's not really going to have to try, is he really? And when it comes to just, just go for the takedown and get him down, because Ferguson welcomes that. But I don't think he'll be able to. I think it'll be competitive, but I can see Charles Oliveira being able to lock up a heel hook eventually or something and submit him. But usually Charles does like to stand with people, but he does sometimes go for the takedown. So I don't know. I mean, Charles Oliveira does put it on people quite quick. So if we're being, a part of me does think maybe Ferguson welcomes the grappling and then Charles manages to get a leg lock. But he hasn't usually finished with them, as it's usually like a rear naked, I'm pretty sure, or a guillotine. Let's have a look. Anaconda rear naked guillotine. Has he ever got a leg lock? No leg lock, so I don't. He has lost to Jim Miller via knee bar. So no leg lock. So he did go for a few attempts against Kevin Lee, but I guess the Kevin Lee's submission defense is nowhere near as good as Tony Ferguson's submission defense. So what else? Would he be able to get like a rear naked or an anaconda against Ferguson? Actually, probably not. Yeah, you know what? Forget all that rubbish I said earlier. Charles wins 2 rounds 1 and 2, and Ferguson wins the third. If it was 5 rounds, Ferguson would probably win. But yeah, Ferguson will put. Maybe it's even a draw. Maybe Ferguson can get a 10-8 in the third and really put it on him. I don't think he can finish him, but if it was 5 rounds, he'd definitely be able to finish him. But yeah, I think it's a draw. Charles Oliveira. Oh man, you know what? I've never predicted a draw before. I think this fight will be a draw. I think Charles wins the first two, then Ferguson puts it on him in the third, and it ends up being a draw, and they have to rematch it. That's what I think. Pretty crazy prediction, I know, but yeah, that's what I think. So, main event: Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Mourinho. So yeah, these guys are just absolutely ballsy, to be honest, fighting straight after the 255 fights. Obviously, Figueiredo didn't really have much damage done to him. I know there was a few kicks landed and all that, but not really too much damage done, to be honest. And Brandon Mourinho, I mean, there was a bit of stand up and then obviously a lot of grappling, and Mourinho was just, trying to get dominant positions, and he kept going for the rear naked. And I know Brandon Royval's shoulder really, really hurt. So, well, it popped out, and it was quite a shame because I know Brandon Royval's trainer popped the shoulder back in so he could have continued to fight. It was insanely competitive on the ground, though. I thought, bloody hell, this is obviously Mourinho was winning, but Royval was really fighting. He really wanted this badly. So, yeah, he wanted this like really badly. He was trying to get out the submission attempts and all that, but his shoulder popped out. And what are you gonna do? I guess that happens, doesn't it? Figueiredo, though, I know there was a couple French grabs which wasn't very good, and eye poke to Alex Perez. So, but he got that amazing guillotine, man. That guillotine was absolutely awesome. But I know after the fence grab, he did like go for a leg lock as well, didn't he? I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, absolutely fantastic. Cool fight, ballsy that they're both, this is a title fight and they're fighting a month later. So yeah, I don't know a crap ton about Figueiredo, but he's very good at walking people down. He keeps his hands down quite a bit. He sort of just like throws stuff out there. He never really sets things up, but his grappling is just absolutely phenomenal. Mourinho, I mean, he was landing some good combos against Kai Kara-France. Kara-France was only really landing a few big right hands on him here and there, which did wobble Mourinho, but Mourinho was landing some good combos on him. I can see him being able to get out them guillotines as well, because in his fight against Juicy Formega, he was in a really tight guillotine and managed to get out and still won. A bit similar to the one Figueiredo put Alex Perez in. So yeah, that was pretty cool. He's got a lot of heart, So yeah, good combination puncher. Can be quite competitive on the ground with Figueiredo. I do think he can win this. You might be thinking I'm a lunatic. You might put it in the comments, "Oh, you're talking a lot of rubbish," but I do think he can pull this off. Probably a decision win. He beats Figueiredo loads and gets the unanimous decision win. I can either see that or Figueiredo finishing him or submitting him. I know he does come to stand and bang a lot, doesn't he? And that is a big worry. But he's very good at getting in and out, isn't he? Landing the combo and then getting out. I know sometimes he just stand there, but sometimes he's able to get out. So, yeah, I think he can beat Figueiredo. So, yeah. Let's see what's on the prelims then. I don't really know a lot of these people. Oh, man. Sorry, yeah, I don't know a lot of these people. I don't know. I've heard of Gavin Tucker and Billy Quarantilio. Oh, I can't say his name. I'm so sorry. The other people I haven't heard. Oh, that's early prelims. Yeah. There's no point in me predicting these people. I don't really know much about. I'm sorry for being a massive casual. So yeah, let's talk some boxing then. So Joyce versus Daniel Dubois. I thought Dubois was going to win. I did think to myself that this is a massive test for him. Joyce is, an absolute utter beast. In the amateurs against Usyk, I gave Joyce a couple of rounds. I thought when Usyk was standing and banging with him, he was landing a few decent punches back and had good volume. And he had great volume in this fight with Dubois. Dubois was landing some great punches, like big. Like it was close. It was competitive. Don't get me wrong. Some of the rounds, I feel like Dubois' big right hands, they were outweighing Joyce's volume. The little, weird jabs that he does. Yeah. I feel like, but what was amazing was Joyce walking him down in the first round. I was like, wow, that is just phenomenal, man. That was just so cool to see. But obviously, Dubois was walking him down in other rounds. It's such a close fight. I don't know who I had winning. In the 10th, obviously Joyce was winning because he was landing quite a few jabs. But before that, bloody hell, it was such a close one. I wouldn't have really mind who they gave it to be honest. Who was in the lead with the points. I'm pretty sure one judge had it Dubois, the other had it Joyce. I can't really remember. But yeah, Dubois, the thing is, a lot of people were saying to me like, oh, sorry, some people, I don't have loads of friends who are boxing fans. But yeah, some people saying to me, this is a test. This is going to be a test for his chin. It wasn't really his chin that was tested. And the thing is, against a volume puncher like Joyce, I know Joyce can knock people out, but he's more of a volume puncher. So I never really thought it'd be a chin test of the chin. I just thought it'd be either Dubois knocking him out or Joyce being able to get out of the way and outbox him. But something totally unexpected happened with Joyce being able to bruise Daniel Dubois' eye. And then Daniel Dubois going on one knee, which people are like, oh, he's a quitter, blah, 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 blah. And the thing is, right, I know there are some people who go on with these bad injuries, like Bisping, he pretty much fought with one eye for ages. Ever since the Vitor Belfort fight, he pretty much fought with one eye. He couldn't really see well in the other eye. Kell Brook, in his fight against, man, I'm pretty sure it was the Errol Spence fight. No, or was it against Triple G when he first hurt his eye socket? Honestly, I can't remember. I'm not that good with boxing. But the point is, but I'll give another MMA example. DC in his third fight with Stipe, couldn't see out the one eye, continued. Liam Harrison in the Thai boxing fight got elbowed and really hurt his eye, continued. Similar injury to Daniel Dubois. But I don't really blame him. Like, you can, what's his name? Cool Irish kid. Dennis McCann. He's actually fighting right now, I'm pretty sure, as I'm recording this. He was saying it could have been the end of Dubois' career, and he's damn right, it could have been. So I don't really see why a guy who's that young, who can come back from this, if Joyce had lost, it'd be a big struggle for Joyce to come back. But as Dubois young, he's only like 23, he can come back. So I don't really see what the problem is with him quitting. I mean, people go on with broken jaws, fair enough. Some people's noses explode and it's really bad, fair enough. But your eyes are very delicate and, you don't really want to be risking that. So I don't blame him for going down on one knee. It wasn't really fair that they interviewed him after the fight, but I do respect his brutal honesty, how he was like, oh, yeah, I just don't know what happened. My eye was hurting and I just had to go down. And yeah, Dubois, fair play to you, mate. You gave it your all. I don't think, you're a quitter. All I will say, though, is that in between rounds, he did look a bit shocked and worried. Maybe that's just, the step up in competition, because previous fights, I mean, he hadn't really been hit. They'd either been quick finishes. He did have one that I'm pretty sure went 10 rounds. And this dude was just like Philly shell, shoulder rolling, defending everything, but didn't counter back. And Dubois was just teeing off on him for the whole fight. He didn't really land a lot of clean stuff, but yeah. And every other fight, Dubois pretty much finished everyone quickly. So, but yeah, hopefully he can make come back. Fair play to Joyce. I think Joyce even gives Josh a good run for his money with Joyce. With how good his chin is. I feel he can beat Chisora. I don't know about White though. I think Dillian White, he just has that look in the fights. It seems like when he doesn't perform that well, he has that like crazy look, But then when he performs well, like in the Povetkin fight, he just gets unlucky, and then Povetkin lands like, okay. I know it's like Dillian White's fault that he got hit with the punches, but Povetkin threw like the most perfect punch ever. But Dillian White fought so well beforehand, it's just a shame, but there you go. But yeah, I do think Dillian White can beat Joyce. So yeah, cool fight. Fair play to Joyce for proving everyone wrong. Yeah, cool stuff. So let's go on to the old man boxing and the YouTube versus basketball boxing. Nah, but yeah, the Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson. Nate was pretty much just running at Jake Paul like a madman, which is fair enough, because he's only had like a few months of boxing training, really, hasn't he? Jake Paul's had years. If you train for a year against someone who's only trained for like a month, you've got a massive advantage over him. I mean, you can beat any normal person pretty much, unless they fight dirty or they've got a weapon on them. You can pretty much beat any normal person. But I suppose like boxers with powerful fists, you can try and kick a boxer in the balls, but they can just come forward and land the big hook on you, can't they? So yeah, and you'd be foolish to try and attempt to fight dirty against them. I mean, if they punch you in the balls, you've crapped on a pain. So, or actually, if they punch you anywhere, anyone who's got a year of boxing experience. Anyway, my point is, Jake Paul's got experience over him. I knew Jake Paul was going to win. Nate Robinson gave it a good go. Yeah, the ref probably should have stopped it because Nate Robinson had been knocked down a few times. But I think it just goes to show, like, athleticism doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a good fighter or a good boxer, Thai boxer, kickboxer, MMA fighter, etc., etc. You're not really being athletic alone. Doesn't win you the fights. It's like, I mean, it's crazy. Nate Robinson going into boxing. It's like, what if Jake Paul wanted a one-on-one? I know you can't do. I mean, you sort of can do one-on-one basketball matches, I suppose, but they'd be a bit weird. But imagine if he was like, oh, let's have a basketball match. Okay, then Nate Robinson would wipe the floor with him, so I don't see how this is fair. But I suppose Nate wanted to fight Jake Paul. A lot of people don't like Jake Paul. Maybe he was egged on and they were like, oh, Nate, kick his ass, beat the shit out of him. We want to see Jake Paul get knocked out. But yeah, fair play to Jake. Fair play. Another win under his belt, I suppose. Will he beat KSI though? That's the question. And in my opinion, yeah. I mean, probably. I think so anyway. Jake's insanely dedicated to boxing while KSI is off doing his other things, which is fair play. If KSI enjoys doing these other things, then massive fair play to him. But it seems like Jake's focusing on boxing a lot more and taking it a lot more serious, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I was just going to say quickly, I know Jake did hit him behind the ear, which is an illegal punch, but now it's pretty much running at him, and it's like, I'm pretty sure Jake didn't do that on purpose. But yeah, with Jake calling out people like Dillian Dennison, Ben Askren in a boxing match, I think it's a bit pathetic, really, because what are you going to get from beating dudes who are primarily a wrestler and a grappler? What are you going to get? If you call them out in MMA, then fair play, even though they'd probably destroy Jake in MMA. Dillian Dennis would have. Askren, I mean, maybe Jake can run forward and land a big right hand, but I doubt it. I think Askren's wrestling's just too high level. So yeah. Next fight. Brain fart. Yeah. Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson. I didn't bother watching it the whole way through, if I'm being brutally honest. I watched bits and pieces. Roy, clinched him quite a lot. Mike seemed to be the aggressor, seemed to be coming forward and bobbing and weaving a bit. Roy had a decent counter hook in some exchanges, but sometimes the counter hook wouldn't land. You go for the 1-2, then Mike would move, and then Mike would try and come in with the hook. And Roy go for the 1-2, and Mike would move out of the way and get down, and then Roy would try and land the big counter hook, but sometimes land, sometimes wouldn't land. I think Mike won, but fair play that they gave it a draw. It was quite close. So yeah, I know about who Jack fought. I'm glad he won. Fair play to him for continuing to fight after the massive gash in his forehead. That's just so much heart to fight through that. And I didn't think he'd be able to fight again after, because that's probably like the worst cut in combat sports. So yeah, Joshua versus Pulev, might as well move on to that now. So Joshua in his last fight against Ruiz, throwing a lot of jabs, right hands, and some counter hooks against Ruiz. Obviously, when Joshua was moving back, he had his chin up in the air a little bit. He didn't do that all the time, though. I feel like Pulev's just a bit of a step, like Eddie Hearn just wants Pulev to be like a stepping stone. They just want Joshua to win. The whole of boxing wants Joshua to win so they can make the Fury fight, obviously. And Pulev's just going to be quite an easy task for him. I mean, Pulev couldn't finish Huey Fury. Pulev's last opponent was pretty much just standing there, and Pulev was landing a few combinations. His opponent was landing a few decent combinations, but Pulev was pushing him back in a lot of the exchanges. Pulev was landing more. But the opponent didn't really look in shape neither. So I'm pretty sure his opponent never lost. I'm so sorry, I can't remember the guy's name. I watched it ages ago. But yeah, I think Joshua. Is Joshua just going to fight safe from now on? I mean, I can't really blame him if he does. If he stands with Pulev, I can't see Pulev's punches being able to make Joshua show respect or scare Joshua or so. Uh, Joshua probably fourth round KO. So yeah, another fight prediction: Marvin Vettori versus Jack Hermansson. I haven't really researched this one a lot, but Marvin Vettori, I know he comes forward and he's got some big, big power, big guy. Good grappling when he's lying on top of people, but sometimes when he attempts submissions, he can lose positions. Jack Hermansson, he can't really always like say if someone's hitting him right, he sort of, it's like if someone's like just hitting him, he can defend well, but if they hit and kick him, he can't usually defend the kick, but he can defend the punches. He's got some good volume, and he's got some good volume on the ground, and he's pretty slick with his striking. But yeah, Marvin Vettori's got a good gas tank, but I feel like Jack Hermansson will be able to win it. To be honest with you, 5-round decision, competitive fight though. And so yeah, let's go into some MMA news. Let's look it up then. MMA news. TJ Dillashaw wants an immediate title shot upon his return. Petrion and Aljamain Sterling. Oh, let's look at this. Respond. Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure TJ was just chatting some shit about him and saying, oh, Aldo's lost 2 fights, blah, 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 blah. This person's no good, this person's no good. Because trying to discredit Petrion's win. I don't, TJ Dillashaw getting done for EPO. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, these guys, I mean, fair play for TJ for owning up, but listen, right, these guys are doing it fair and square. I know it's generic. I know it's cliche of me to say that, but it's fair and square. TJ can try and chat shit all he wants, but at the end of the day, he got done for EPO. So, yeah. You just say one good thing, he's well-rounded, he's good, Dillashaw says. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not good. The division is a great division right now. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, you can't beat 2-0 weight class. You can't beat a guy that's 2-0 in the weight class and call yourself undisputed champion. Yeah, but mate, you can't really do steroids. You can't do steroids and call yourself the champ. Honestly. Khabib has named his price to come out of retirement. I'm guessing it's a bucket load of money. Obviously. Let's have a look if it says the exact number. Oh, 100 million. I imagine UFC offered you 100 million. This is already a problem. Where's he? Yeah, well, yeah, 100 million then. They're not going to pay that sort of money for Khabib, but maybe he comes back anyway. I think he put a tweet up the other day saying, with the permission of his mom, he'll come back to MMA. If he wants to do one more fight, do one more fight. If he doesn't, then, he's in retirement. He's beat everyone, pretty much nearly won every round. I mean, do what you want, Khabib. Do whatever makes you happy at the end of the day, mate. Obviously, he's not watching that, but watching this. But yeah, he should, he can retire if he wants. If he wants to keep fighting, he can keep fighting. I mean, if you look at it from a health standpoint, Khabib hasn't really absorbed much punishment at all, really. So he can keep fighting for ages and ages if he wants. But if he wants to retire now, fair play. Yeah, if he comes back, I'd be somewhat excited. If he doesn't, well, that's fair play to him. The division goes on. Brandon Vera says, heavyweight comeback question mark, one champ. Brandon Vera tells John Jones to look at Mike Tyson. What's your excuse? Let's have a look. So what is he? We're on the feet, remembers Vera. Who defended his heavyweight belt? Okay. Now, Vera's 43 years old. Is this serious? On the article, it just said he's 43 years old. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. I mean, I know he's been fighting for years, but is he really that old? 43! Bloody hell. I mean, it's not good that people are fighting to such an old age, but yeah. So I'm guessing what he's saying with what's your excuse to John Jones, and obviously look at Mike Tyson, look at what he's done. So what's your excuses? John Jones taking so much time off and not bothering to go up to heavyweight. Yeah, John Jones shouldn't really chat shit and then not back up what he's saying. So yeah, it's Brandon Vera's right. You know, he John Jones really should go up to heavyweight. Yara Rodriguez. Oh yeah, Yara Rodriguez has been banned for not telling USADA where he is or where he's gone on holiday to or traveling stuff, which he should really tell them. I don't really know where to say if it's suspect if he's on steroids or if it's just a bit of a mistake or if he's done with all the USADA hassle because they can come at any time, any hour, any day and need to know where you are all the time. Could easily be a mistake, could easily be a suspect move. I don't know. Being banned for 6 months is better than being banned for 2 years. So, Korean Zombie says he wants Zabit. Fair play. Yep, that's the fight that's going to get me closest to a title shot. More than that, I want to try and prove to myself once again, prove myself against one of the hottest fighters in the division and prove I'm still capable of competing at the highest level. Of course, I would understand if he doesn't want to fight me. I think Zabit to fight him. I mean, pretty much with the general consensus with Zabit fighting anyone at the top of the featherweight division is that or a lot of the top people would probably beat him because he gasses in the third usually. I think Zombie could probably he TKO him in the late rounds? Probably Zabit would probably win the first two, then Korean Zombie would win. I mean, sorry, first two, then Korean Zombie win the other two, I reckon. But I could be wrong. Need to watch more of their fights and go back and watch them. And if the fight happens, I can properly analyze it, I suppose. Let's have a look. Mighty Mouse responds to being labelled as the GOAT. I mean, he's one of the best ever, and he's got the most title defenses. I know people try and shit on the 125s, but at the end of the day, he's so well rounded. You know, you got to give him the credit. Out of all of the fighters who have fought the last Cejudo's, you know, Cejudo's got a lot of finishes. Finished TJ Dillashaw, Marlon Moraes, and Dominic Cruz. Insanely close fight with DJ. A lot of people thought, some people thought DJ won because of the leg kicks. I can't remember that fight that well. I remember thinking, I think I thought to myself, DJ had won when I first watched it. I thought, oh, DJ's won. Fair play to Cejudo for pushing himself and trying to win, but DJ's won. Then they gave it to Cejudo. I was sort of like happy because I was like, whoa! But I sort of thought DJ won, but I can't remember exactly why. I think I watched it back again and I was like, oh, I guess Cejudo did sort of control him a bit more, but DJ was landing the leg kick, so I'll have to go back and watch that one. End of the day, it was a close fight. I wasn't like robbery. I wasn't like robbery. I was sort of like, I wasn't too annoyed. I was thinking to myself, I thought DJ won, but at the end of the day, Cejudo, he's a great fighter, and it was close. It wasn't like it was a robbery. But yeah, I'm looking away from the camera. I'm just looking at the moment at fights before DJ. Oh, wait, no, okay. He didn't get a finish. He fought Sergio Pettis, unanimous decision, then Wilson Rees, TKO. But yeah, DJ was the last person to have an insanely close fight with him. Next three people he fought, I mean, he finished them all. And I know Marlon Moraes, had a good round against him. But then once he weathered the storm, he was able to, beat him. So, yeah. Let's get back to that article of DJ responding to being called the GOAT. Then I'll end it there. Then I'll end the podcast here. He says, I think it's awesome. Johnson told MMA Fighting's Mike Heck in a recent episode of What the Heck. I have nothing but respect for Izzy, and I told him after what he did to Paulo, if you keep putting on performances like that, you're going to be well on your way. The way he dismantled him, it's very rare that a fighter can do something like that. Will make me think certain things. Yeah, so he's quite happy that he's been DJ. I mean, Izzy's called him the GOAT, so cool stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I can end it there. Thanks for watching, and yeah, see you in the next episode.